So Apple announced a shocking new plan this week. Let me explain it for you. They're going to use on-device machine learning. That's what it's called, to begin analyzing images, photos in your phone. And if the system determines that there's a photograph that is potential child sexual abuse material, they call CSAM, that's the acronym they use, it will forward it to a human to examine and decide whether or not to call the police on the customer. So they also go on to say that devices that belong to minors will blur images and text messages that the system deems sexually explicit, and that as an additional precaution, the child can also be told that to make sure they're safe, the parents will get a message if they do view it. All right, pause. Think about what the fuck I just told you. Apple's setting up a system to monitor your photos and your text conversations. And if they deem, hey, something here is fishy, dog, if you're young, they're going to send a text to your parents and be like, hey, your kid is trying to look at some titties right now. What? Why the fuck? What is this? What is Apple doing? Well, Edward Snowden chimed in on this. You could throw this up on the screen, Eric. So Edward Snowden chimed in. He said, no matter how well-intentioned, Apple is rolling out mass surveillance to the entire world with this. Make no mistake, if they can scan for kiddie porn today, they can scan for anything tomorrow. They turned $1 trillion of devices into iNarcs without asking. Damn. So let me show you the next Edward Snowden tweet, because this is really interesting as well. Apple in 2015, we locked the FBI out of a dead terrorist phone to protect your privacy. And then you see Apple 2021, we compare your photo roll and iCloud with a government blacklist and call the cops about it. We also tell mom about your iMessages. Okay, but even though this is a joke, that is literally exactly accurate as to what's happening here. And that's devastating. Listen, I said this on Breaking Points with Crystal today. What if you have a 15-year-old and a 15-year-old dating? Scratch that. The age of consent in some states, I think, is 18. So what if you have a 17-year-old and a 17-year-old dating, and they're sexting each other? With the way the system works, their parents would get a message being like, hey, your daughter or your son or whatever, they're sexting right now. And then, again, they would take the message, say, maybe this is sexually explicit child stuff. Then they send it to a human at Apple to say whether or not it's sexually explicit stuff. By the way, who's going to apply for those jobs? Oh, it's a job where you get to look at naked kids all day. That's where the fucking pedophiles are going to go. Of course that's where the pedophiles are going to go. And so you're making the problem worse that you were pretending to want to solve. You're basically making like Pedo Depot where they can go get a job and look at potential child sexual stuff all day long. Are you fucking kidding me? There's this thing called privacy, which is monumentally important. Nobody should go through your camera roll. No, you can't just tank everybody's privacy to maybe stop some kiddie porn. Maybe, but really you're probably just making it worse because you're going to send it to some weird person whose job is to look at that shit. And it is true. In 2015, Apple did tell the FBI to fuck off when the FBI was like, we're making you open this terrorist phone, unlock this terrorist iPhone. You have to do it because there might be some other imminent attack coming or something. We might learn about other people in the network. We need this for an investigation. This is serious. This is somebody who already killed people in a terror attack. And Apple was like, not doing it. Now, why? You might be like, why? I don't understand. Because if you create the stuff to crack that iPhone, that technology then exists, and it's going to be used to crack everybody's iPhone. Because we already know the NSA is spying on everybody in the fucking country. We learned that a long time ago from Edward Snowden. We know that they're doing that. So you're going to give these authorities the ability to crack everybody's phone and get even more intimate details and tap your pictures and shit? Come on, son. Nobody in good faith can be in favor of this. And so Ed Snowden was retweeting a lot of people on this who were making good points. Somebody said, it's impossible to build a scanning system that can only be used for sexually explicit images sent or received by children. Not possible to do that. Somebody else says, how long until this is used to scan your phone for anti-government photos? Guys, they always try to start with something that you're not allowed to argue against. Oh, this is to stop pedophiles. Everybody's going to be like, of course I want to stop the pedophiles. Duh. So they always start with something you can't object to. Then eventually that shit becomes, you said something that the government deems unacceptable, and we have the proof of it because we can look at your phone, so now we're going to take action against you. It's not just a slippery slope, son. It's a slippery cliff, and we're falling down it at 100 miles an hour. And another great point somebody made is, how long is this going to be until authorities in the Middle East use this to track down LGBTQ people? How long until anti-gay families in America are outed by this fucking system? No, not okay. Totally unacceptable. Edward Snowden is 100% right. And Apple should stop immediately. Guys, I'm telling you, I was joking about this today on Breaking Points, but I don't even know if I'm really joking. I'll go back to a fucking flip phone from 2009. Are you kidding me? Because there's been a number of creepy things that happened. Like, I was talking to Crystal one time, and I mentioned cornflakes. I never eat cornflakes ever. I maybe had them 3 times in my entire life, and certainly not recently. And I mentioned cornflakes to her. Next time I'm on Amazon, I get a recommended thing for cornflakes. These motherfuckers are listening to our phone. Like, they're listening to our phone. There's some sort of, algorithm or system that's tapping into everything you're talking about. So I'm telling you, man, this is scary. Edward Snowden is 100% right. Apple should reverse course. But if they go down this road, then there's nobody that hasn't gone down this road, because I know Google's already terrible with shit like this. So, oh boy, that dystopian future is coming faster and faster. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.